गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुस्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. ओम. I am readjusting my phones. I think this is a better adjustment. Okay, now today is Wednesday. Yeah, today is Wednesday, so Sugama. We'll continue one more talk. So etena yadashankitam. Now we were discussing about what? Bandhasya anadhyastve doshaha. 64th point. If bandha is not, if bondage were not an adhyasa, what is the problem? If bandha were not, if bondage were not an adhyasa, what is the problem? That means if bondage were real. Because if bondage is adhyasa, it is easy to solve. Yattu satya sankalpena parameshwarana nirmitat. Like this, some people say like this. Yattu satya sankalpena parameshwarena nirmitatvat satyaha eva samsara bandhaha. Some people say like that since samsara bondage was created by Paramatma, because Paramatma, see, this is one peculiar, strange logic of people. Paramatma is a Satya Sankalpa. Sankalpa means whatever he thinks, he proposes, that becomes a reality. Our proposals, our ideas, our wishes, Sankalpa means a kind of a wish. Whatever we wish, we are not able to fulfill our wish. We want to do something, but we won't be able to do it because there are many other factors which come in the way as an obstruction. See, this is the difference. Bhagavan is Satya Sankalpa, whereas a Jiva is not. Why? Mudal Sankalpa means what? Sankalpa means a wish, a proposal, an idea. If Bhagavan wishes, whatever he wishes, it happens. But whereas a human being wishes, to implement the wishing, you require many other factors to be able to fulfill your wish. You want to go, even a simple thing, you want to lift your hand. I wanted to start my talk, there was no internet connection. So 25 minutes got wasted. Because I was just ready, 11:30, 25 alone I was ready. So, but the internet connection was not cooperating. So, what we wish, we are not able to fulfill them because we depend upon factors, many innumerable factors beyond us. We depend upon innumerable factors beyond us. So, we have to adjust to the factors. See the nature of Jiva. When I plan, when I wish and plan something, while planning I have to take into consideration the factors and the people who come in the way, who are part of this program. Now, how much they are capable, how much is their capacity, how much they can cooperate with us, how much is their cooperation, how much is their capacity, all this we have to take into consideration. Sometimes we may not be able to judge their capacity correctly, and how much they can cooperate, how much they can execute our wish and plan perfectly and will bring about the result. We don't know. Thing is, we are alpagnya. A jiva is not a sarvagnya. He cannot estimate, evaluate the capacities of the factors whose help he necessarily needs, who depends upon them. External factors like time, place, condition, natural factors, society, and all this. How? We don't know. We cannot estimate their capacity accurately. Second, you expect them to cooperate. Sometimes they promise, but at the 11th hour, but in actual practice, they come into trouble, they get into trouble, they are unable to do, and they fail. Sometimes they intentionally don't do. Sometimes they are willing to do, wishing to do, but the things don't go well. Things don't go well as they expect. They fail to do. Then what happened? Your plan, your wish goes wrong. Wrong means what? Unable to fulfill it, unable to actualize it, materialize it. Okay, but whereas why Ishvara's Sankalpa gets materialized successfully, all his wishes come out to be, all his wishes are thoroughly, perfectly materialized without fail. Satya Sankalpa means what? All his wishes never fail to materialize. Okay, I don't know, how do you understand Satya Sankalpa means? Satya Sankalpa means this. Anything you wish, all your wishes successfully materialize. None of them fails. Our wishes partly fail, partly succeed, or the success rate, the percentage of success of our wishes varies from situation to situation. But even if they are successful, most of the time we are surprised. We go and tell, oh, I wished it went off well. They say some function they wanted to hold, some marriage they wanted to hold, but it is a routine. They say, Swamiji, my daughter's marriage went off well, everything went off well. Why do you feel it is a surprise? Because who knows what will happen? Nothing is in our hands. Nothing is in our hands. If the things go well, it is a surprise, a pleasant surprise for him. It is a good news. He goes and repeatedly tells, and he does namaskara to his Ishtadevata, to his family deity, to his personal deity. At the end of the function, he does namaskara. Oh God, how lucky I am, how kind-hearted you are that you made my wish successful. Successfully materialize. But whereas Ishvara's Sankalpa, Ishvara doesn't have to feel surprise. Okay, Ishvara doesn't feel surprised. Ishvara doesn't have to wait whether it would be successful or not. All his wishes become successful because, see, you know the reason? See, why our wishes need to become successful. Ishvara's wish doesn't need, it is automatically successful. Because there is a gap between wish and its materialization. For Ishvara, wish and materialization, there is no gap. As he wishes, it happens. Because wish and its materialization, there is no gap. The very wish is its execution. The wish and execution, that means Ichha Shakti and Kriya Shakti are not two separate. In fact, Jnana Shakti, Jnanam means you take it, we all have it. You think of something, that is Jnanam. And then you wish is a Ichha Shakti. Then act according to it and fulfill it. It is a Kriya Shakti, execution. Knowledge, developing a wish, and then fulfilling it, executing it. All the three are called Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. People think these are all highly technical terms. They are all everybody's, every moment we do. This is what we do. This is what is in our life. Vedanta talks of our life. That's what most interesting portion of Vedanta is. It talks about you and me at every moment what we are. People say, oh, philosophy is very difficult. In fact, this is so easiest thing in life. It talks about our life. See, you entertain a wish. You entertain a wish based upon your knowledge. Suppose you don't know anything, you can't entertain a wish. You entertain a wish about something what you know. Therefore, what is possible? Based upon impossible alone, you entertain a wish, isn't it? What is possible, you know it. Therefore, according to your knowledge, you entertain wishes. But Ishvara's wishes all are practicable wishes only. He doesn't entertain very imaginary, wild wishes. We entertain wild wishes, and we knowingly that Why? Because there is a gap between our knowledge and our wishes. We know it is not possible, still we wish. These are all wild wishes. Okay, this Satya Sankalpa today, let me explain. I don't know whether I have explained, but anyway, let me explain once again. So, your wishes should be based upon your reality, based upon the facts. You can't just have wild wishes. Okay? Bhagavan is a Sarvagnya. Ishvara is Sarvagnya. He knows what are possible, what can be really fulfilled. Therefore, his wishes are based upon his knowledge. For us, we know it is not possible, yet we wish. That means they are called dreams, wild dreams. Almost all the dreams are wild only. Why do you call wild a dream? Why do you call it as a whims and fancies? Whims and fancies are not based upon ground realities. Possibilities, probabilities. We don't look at possibilities, probabilities and ground realities. We just wish. These are called wild dreams. Ishvara doesn't have wild dreams. What is wild? It is impractical, which doesn't happen. We know it doesn't happen and still you entertain. Such desires, such wishes, Ishvara doesn't entertain. Okay, such sankalpas, Ishvara does not entertain because his wishes are according to his knowledge. His wishes are in keeping with his knowledge. Our wishes are not keeping with our knowledge. Knowledge is at one place and our wishing is disconnected, unconnected. Okay. So our Jnana Shakti means knowledge. These are all technical. Jnana Shakti means knowledge. Ichha Shakti means wishes. Simple. These use very big Sanskrit words and you start imagining something. These are all simple. Jnana Shakti is knowledge. Ichha Shakti is our wishes. Kriya Shakti is execution, our power of execution, our capacity, our means, our material, paraphernalia, help and whatever, our capacity, our working conditions and all that. Ichha, all Kriya Shakti means executing power. Executing your wish and fulfilling it. So, the difference between Jiva and Ishvara is, in Jiva, the knowledge and wishes and its execution, there is a gap between these three. Knowledge, wish and execution. These three are, there is a gap and there is no coordination. That means our wishes are not true to our knowledge. Our execution is not in keeping with wish. So, this is the gap between these three. For Ishvara, Ichha Shakti, he has got complete Ichha. He has got a complete knowledge, therefore he is Sarvagnya, all knowledge. And his wishes are in keeping with knowledge. He doesn't make any fanciful wishes. He makes practical, practicable, probable wishes alone. Practicable. And all his wishes arise according to his knowledge. There is no gap between knowledge and wish. Okay. He entertains only such wishes which are practical, which are necessary. So knowingly he wishes. His wishes are based upon his knowledge. Therefore, his wishes are not wild wishes, fanciful wishes, whims. Yeah, all his wishes are realistic wishes. Okay? Realistic wishes. Therefore, Satya Sankalpa. Based upon knowledge. Satya Sankalpa. And our wishes are wild because we know many things don't happen, but we just want them. We live in only dreams. And we know it may not be possible, doesn't matter. We live in dreams. We love very dreams only. We just wish and we know it won't happen, but we just think and leave them. We think and leave them. This is Jiva. You know what is Jiva? This is what we are. Many things we do. That's why I told you Vedanta talks of just our life. Our life alone. This is how I understood anyway. This is how I understand. I teach you only this way. Because in unrelated to life, I can't understand anything. That's why I'm not a scholar. I admit beforehand, I have repeatedly told I am not a scholar. Because scholars have lot of knowledge of others and wild ideas, opinions, ideas they keep on compiling, and they don't relate to their life. They only talk of based upon books and opinions and views of others. I never talk of these things. It is so boring for me. What is unrelated to life is boring for me. I never studied that way. Therefore, I am not a scholar. I studied my life. My life is your life and everybody's life. Therefore, I understood Vedanta as relevant to life. That means you are only studying life. The facts of life, they are right in front of us. You can just watch and you understand. That's why I think my Vedantic talks are very easily understandable to all of you. Because I also talk of my life, your life, we all can understand our life easily. So there is no unnecessary imagination, boring speculative logic, boring speculative views and opinions. It just directly, we are only analyzing, probing, investigate. That probing means a little deeply we are watching. Facts are there in our life. We come to watch them and discover them. That's all. It is so easy. Vedanta is easy. Easiest thing in my life, I tell you. Most easiest thing is Vedanta. And those who listen to me, you must have found it. It is most easy. So, you see, Satya Sankalpa, all these things, they try to imagine, they put it quotations and books and explanation. All that you throw away. You just look at life. How easy it is. Jnanam we have, knowledge we have, wishes we have. And how we execute our wishes, we know. This is what Ichcha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, they use all difficult words, ununderstandable. So, see the Jiva and Ishvara. Difference between Jiva and Ishvara. In Jiva, the knowledge and wishes, there is a gap. Our wishes are not based upon knowledge. That means we know something, and by being irrelevant to our knowledge, unconnected with knowledge, we start wishing. Therefore, most of our wishes are just wild fancies and wishes alone. Nothing happens. And we say, oh, that's why when something happens, what we wish, we become so happy, we become so surprised, and we tell others, oh, luckily this happened. Luckily, I'm able to succeed. I have successfully achieved it. I thought of going it. That's why they ask when you travel it, oh, how did your journey happen? Oh, my journey was very, I successfully, I completed my journey. Why? Because we don't know. We plan, we wish, but we are not sure. We are not sure of anything. Smallest thing we are not sure. Because we wish and try, still we don't know. After it becomes successful, they become surprised. We pray to God, we thank God, and also tell others, luckily it became successful. Swamiji, it was successful. I say, why do you doubt? Why did you doubt before? He looks surprising. How is that? I have not doubted, Swamiji. I am only surprised. I say, why was you surprised? Why didn't you take it for granted that this will happen? I wished it and it will happen. If you are so sure that it will happen, you won't be surprised. But why can't you be so sure? He will say, why are you telling that, Swamiji? That means he is unable to tell. No jiva can be sure of tomorrow. He is unable to tell. Every jiva has to wait for the thing to happen. When the thing happens, he will be surprised. Luckily it is surprise. Luckily it became successful. Luckily it happened, because nobody knows what is going to happen the next moment. However you try, however you work hard, however you hope for best, still you have to wait until the thing happens. Okay, this is what Jiva is. Two things. Jiva is not sure of what is going to happen because his knowledge is not perfect knowledge. He is not Sarvajna. Second thing, he is not a Sarvashaktiman. He cannot command all powers to be able to execute one wish and be successful. He hopes for help of God, help of nature, help of society, help of things, everything goes well. All conditions, all factors. That's why they say, if everything goes well, we will be successful. If everything goes well, why this condition of everything goes well? If everything goes well, we will be successful. Why this condition? That condition alone makes us our jiva. If this Ishvara doesn't have that condition, it is in his hands. He doesn't say if everything goes well, he says it will happen. Why? That condition is in his hands. That's why Ishvara is Sarva Shaktiman. Ishvara is Sarvagnya. Ishvara is Sarva Shaktiman. That's why his Satya Sankalpa. See the beautiful. Sarvagnya, he knows what is going to happen, what will not happen. He knows everything. All knowledge is in his hands. Ishvara is Sarvagnya. He makes wishes. He entertains only those wishes which can be successful. Other wish he will not wish at all, because he knows it cannot happen. Ishvara's wishes are Satya Sankalpas, because his wishes are based upon his knowledge. There is no gap between his knowledge and wish. For us, there is a gap between knowledge and wish. That's why we are jivas. Okay. Then the wish and the execution. Wish and executing the wish. That means becoming successful. Successfully executing the wish. You require, how many factors you require? Hard work you have to do, your capacities, people around us, so many factors. Whole cosmos is required. Entire world is required to be able to fulfill one small wish of you. You are me, of Jiva. But Ishvara's whole world is in his hand. Entire world is under his control. So he wishes in such a way, his wish, he entertains such a wish which can be executed. Now the second point. Now the wish and execution, there is no gap. In Ishvara, there is no gap between wish and execution. What about Jiva? We wish many things. That's why we say a proverb in English, man proposes, it is God alone disposes. Disposes means God alone, whether it should be fulfilled or not, he will finalize it. Disposing means finalizing it. Ultimately deciding the fate of it. Deciding the fate of the wish. Should it be fulfilled or should it be failed? Or if fulfilled, what percentage will be fulfilled? All that God decides. Okay. If fulfilled, what percentage? And when? Now or after some time, means after what length of time? After what length of time will it be fulfilled? After 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years or 100 years or next Janma? Or next 10 Janmas? We don't know. Not in our hands. This is what is Jiva. How beautiful. This is what we are. This is what Jiva's condition. Now see, Ishvara is totally contrast with it. Therefore, his wish and execution, there is no gap. As he wishes, thing happened. That's all. You wish it, you happened it. So the wish and happening, there is no gap. Therefore, Ishvara's wishes are 100% successful. Therefore, he is called Satya Sankalpa. Because he can command the entire power. He commands the entire power of the world. Entire power of the world in his hands. If he wishes, it happens. Or before his wishing itself, he wishes in such a way, whatever happens alone he can wish. What doesn't happen, he doesn't entertain. He doesn't entertain at all. He knows it will not happen, then I will not entertain. Therefore, whatever he thinks, it happens. People think that Ishvara Satya Sankalpa means this is the actual Vedantic meaning. But you know how people misunderstand Ishvara Sankalpa. That means whatever wildly he wishes, that also will happen. They think like that. Satya Sankalpa means whatever he wishes will happen. That means people think that Ishvara, without considering the realities, ground reality, practical possibility, he wishes wildly and still it happens. This is what our understanding of Satya Sankalpa. We misunderstand Satya Sankalpa. We think that even if there is a gap between knowledge and wish, that means without knowing the ground realities, wildly Ishvara wishes and still it happens. Wildly you wish and yet it happens. This is what we misunderstand Ishvara Satya Sankalpa. Okay. Ishvara entertains such a sankalpa which can only be executed, which can only become successful. If it is not likely to be successful, if the situations, conditions, factors are not suitable, he will not entertain that wish at all. That wish doesn't arise at all in him. This is makes him Satya Sankalpa. Then what we understand Satya Sankalpa? Anything he wishes wildly. Wild means what? Which is not practical. And still Ishvara makes it successful. He won't. He can't make it that way. And he is Satya Sankalpa not in that sense. Okay? Not in that sense. Our understanding is too childish. Satya Sankalpa, Jnanam, wish and execution. Jnan, knowledge, wish and execution. These three are in coordination with each other. In Ishvara, knowledge, wish and execution, all three are in one alignment. Two things are there. They are in keeping with each other. Knowledge, wish and execution are in alignment. They are in coordination with each other, one thing. But all the three happen simultaneously is another. Wish and execution happens instantly. This is another step of Ishvara, another quality of Ishvara. For us, these knowledge, wish and execution, all these three are unconnected with each other, not true to each other. Knowledge is one place, our wishes are another place. Wishes are one place and our execution is another. There is a gap between these three. Not only gap, they are in coordination. They are together. Means they are interconnected. But in Ishvara, there is no gap. There is no need to be interconnection because they are instant. All the three are instant. There is no gap. They are coordinated with, they are interconnected. There is a coordination between these three, but there is no gap between them. For us, there is no gap. That gap creates problem. When there is a gap means what? Other factors come and intervene. Gap means what? Other factors come and intervene. For Ishvara, other factors are not there. They are all in his hands. That is the difference between Ishvara and us. Okay. So, this Ishvara is Satya Sankalpa. He wishes. So, whatever he wishes, a practicable alone he wishes, and as he wishes, the things happen. Now, I have explained what is Satya Sankalpa. Now come to the topic, Adhyasa. Just a little deviation, but I think it is required. It helps us to understand this thing. So, yattu Satya Sankalpena Parameshwarena. Now, some people say, Parameshwara is Satya Sankalpa. His wishes always come out true. That means he never entertains a wish which is unrealistic. He always entertains a realistic wishes which is practicable, which can only be achieved, which can only be successful. That means successfully wishes. Successable, I don't know how to say that. Success bound wishes he entertains. Can we say like that? My English, I create artificial English. Anyway, it is not my language. For me, language comes for sake of my ideas. First, I have an understanding, I create language for it. I have to create new words to communicate my idea. So, knowledge is first and language comes later. So, Parameshwarena Nirmitatvat Satya Sankalpa means what is, how to say that, success worthy. What is going to be successful alone he entertains. Okay, so Parameshwarena Nirmitatva, therefore, since Paramatma created the world, Paramatma created Bandha. They say God created Bandhanam for us. God created bondage for the jivas. See, this is something most of the Dvaitins means almost all non-Advaitins. All Advaitins imagine God creates bondage, God creates liberation. See, God creates bondage, they say. then God alone liberates it. Then the question comes, why God created? That's why all the atheists put the objection, why God did like that? Why? We say God does everything, God is Sarvagnya, all-knowing everything, God is kind and compassionate. If you say, atheist question, if you say God is compassionate, God knows everything, and God is capable of doing everything, then why did He create the bondage at all? Why did He create Jiva in a bondage? He says, God will liberate. See, He created the problem and He wants to solve it. First He created the problem, tortured us, and he wants to solve the problem conditionally, on certain condition. Isn't it? He wants to take some money, some bribe, and He will want to solve the problem. After taking the bribes, then first, why did He create the problem? If God alone can solve the problem, then He should not have created the problem. Why did He create? Tell me first. Atheists put a question which these people, these God believers cannot answer. Okay. Then what do Vedantins say? Vedantins say God did not create problem. God did not create bondage. Okay? Bondage is a Jiva's making. In fact, Jiva also doesn't make. We say nobody creates bondage. Nobody creates. From Ishvara's standpoint, there is no bondage at all. Jiva's standpoint, he feels that there is a bondage. He also did not make it. He finds himself in a bondage. Bondage is due to ignorance. You feel that there is a bondage. There is no actually bondage at all. Therefore, God did not create bondage because it doesn't exist. There is no bondage. Therefore, see the note Advaitins Vedantins explanation. Bondage is not there. Therefore, you can't hold God has created the bondage. You can't hold God as responsible and question Him, why did He create bondage? And is offering to liberate me. Offering to liberate me on some condition, on receiving a bribe. In the first place, why did He create the bondage? All non-Advaitins who say that God created the bondage are responsible. They have to answer. Because you have to answer a question only if there is an assumption. If God created the bondage is your philosophy, then you philosophers have to explain. Then you say, no, I don't know. Then you don't know, you ask your God and tell me. I say, I can't ask, our God is not available. If God is not available, then how did you know that? See, they say, our God created the bondage. They make a claim. I say, if you make a claim, then we put a question, why did God create the bondage? You go and ask your God and come and tell me. Why did He create? Is such a cheap God and creating a bondage and playing with us? Why is He creating? Atheist question. And you have to answer. You who are non-Advaitins, they have to answer. They say God created the bondage. Now you answer. They say, no, how do they explain? We don't know, God alone knows. Hey, you make it on behalf of God. You make that God created a bondage on behalf of God. Then you have to answer on behalf of Him. He says, I know that God created bondage, but I can't answer that. This is an explanation. You take the side of God, you sit in place of God and give an explanation, give an answer and say that God created, then you have to answer. Then drop that. How do you know? I don't know. Then how do you know? Did God come and tell you? When He tell you, then you should have asked it instantly. Or you go and ask now, your God. I say, I can't ask Him because He's not available for my contact. If you can't contact Him, then how did you come to know that God created the bondage and God told you that? God claimed. Your God's claim is as false as your claim. This is Advaitins stand. I'll tell you later. That will come later. Okay? If God created, then how do you know? They say, I don't know directly. God told me. Did God tell you? No, God didn't tell me directly, but somebody told me. Somebody who is called as a God's messenger told me. You ask the messenger. No, he is not available. Then what? He said in a book and then went away. Now the book alone, you ask the book doesn't answer. Then if it doesn't answer, again ask your God. God won't answer. God, he told, whatever I have to reveal, I have revealed for good, that's all. Now, no second book come, no next prophet will come. Next prophet, because he is the only son and he is the last prophet. Next prophet won't come. And then whatever is in the book, you have to understand. Then I have a question. My book doesn't answer. I don't know, because my book doesn't answer. That means your God has not revealed everything. No, you can't ask it. I'll kill you if you say that. God told that he has revealed everything. Then only your claim and your killing, only two remain. These are the only two remaining. You claim on behalf of God. First, you don't know where that God is and whether he really created the bondage, and whether he himself claimed that he created the bondage, you don't know. You believed somebody's words, and if you want to verify, that person disappeared. He is not there now. The prophet or only son is not there now to tell you, to answer your questions. Your question is logical. He says, you are putting a logical question, shut up, otherwise I'll kill you. Our God has ordered me. Our prophet told us, through our prophet he told you that whatever I claim, you listen. You don't question. If you question, I have got a right to kill you. God has given me another right to kill you. If you question, I am supposed to kill you. That's all. Then what should I do? I claim on behalf of God. God created the bondage, and he alone will liberate you if you surrender to him. Through me, because I am a prophet, I told you. I have got a church or something. Through me, you have to believe me. If you question, I'll kill you. That's all. Now tell me, where is God now? Nobody knows where is God. In between, these people have done created. That's why these atheists are more intelligent. Atheists have dismissed all this nonsense. I say this God, all this business is nothing but a mafia gang. This God and this killing the people is nothing but a mafia gang. Threatens people, frightens people, controls them and kills them, and uses them to their liking. There are two types of mafia gangs. There are truly, intentionally, purposely mafia gangs who intends to cheat others. There are other mafia gangs. Note it. There are two types of mafia gangs. One mafia gang, the gang leader consciously, intentionally cheats and controls people. He wants to cheat and he tells, I am controlling you, remain under my control. Another mafia gang, intentionally he doesn't control, intentionally doesn't cheat, but he himself is under delusion. He himself is under a false belief, and he is also under a delusion, illusion. He believes that somebody gave me message and I said that God controls us. You have to believe him and you have to do that. This is a self-deluded mafia gang, a conscious mafia gang. That's all. There are only two kinds of mafia gang. A conscious mafia gang is only a politics, colonization of others and political ruling. And a self-deluded mafia gangs are religions, the so-called religions. Self-deluded mafia gangs are religious leaders. I am making a very harsh statement, but in fact it is not harsh. I am telling you facts. The fact is that this is not my telling that you have to, you verify yourself. Am I telling you the facts in your life, in your understanding? I am only opening your understanding. I am not imposing anything on you. So these two kinds of mafia gangs. One is politics, another is religion. Dharmic politics is different. Dharmic religions are different. This dogma religion and dogma politics. Okay. Dogma religion and dogma politics, these two are mafia gangs. Don't believe my words. You verify for yourself. I'm just presenting the facts. So a mafia gang controls you consciously. He knows we have to control people and he controls it. Purposely, intentionally controls people. This is an intellectual, this is a political mafia gang. A religious mafia gang is the so-called messengers of God. They are under delusion. They also believe that God gave me this message and then he asked me to tell you people, and you all people should believe me, otherwise he asked me to kill you. Otherwise I am supposed to kill you. He has given me right, God given right. Tell this. I also believe and I want you to believe. If you don't believe, I will kill you. That's all. This is a self-deluded leaders of mafia gang. They also believe. They have no answer, but they also believe and they want you to believe. What a mafia gang. Have you understood now? So open, so simple. Common sense can dismiss these mafia gangs. They control only common sense. These religions, so-called religions, control people by controlling the common sense. They don't allow you to use your common sense. If common sense can dismiss it, you don't need even great revelation. Common sense can dismiss these mafia gangsteristic religions. Simple, say common sense enough. That's why atheists look more intelligent than these religious fellows, these dogmatic religious fellows. Now coming to the point, time is up. Anyway, I'll tell 1 or 2 minutes and next we'll continue in the next class. Okay? God created the bondage. God created the world. God created Jiva. The first question is, why did he create it? I don't know. Then on what basis you are making this claim? On what basis you are making this claim? You know what he says? My God's messenger told me. My book tells me. Book means what? God's messenger. God's messenger told me. But God's messenger is also self-delusion. Even he can't prove. First thing is there is no messenger now. He is not alive now. You have to believe his book. You ask your book. Our book doesn't answer. But we believe it to be right. Your question, your book doesn't answer. But you say I should believe it. Why do you want to believe, which is so illogical, so foolishness? That means you want to believe what is foolishness. If you believe, okay, believe. Why do you want to impose it on? Yes, I have to impose. I am supposed to impose. That is also part of my belief. Part of my belief is not only I believe foolishly against my common sense, I impose it on you. Otherwise, I'll use my power to kill you. Organized power to kill you. This is called religion. Terrible. Terrible. You understand? This is what? Hindus are Vedantins. Think Vedanta. You can question all these idiots on the earth, these mafia gangs. Our Vedantic Bhashya is Asuric forces. And modern language is mafia gangs. Our Vedantic language, our Pauranic language, our Shastriya technical terms are, these are all Asuras. Just they don't know what they are talking. They don't know what they are doing. They are fools and they try to control others out of that foolishness. Why should you be afraid? Think boldly, listen to Vedanta, study Vedanta. You learn the facts of life. It is there right in front of you. They say God created the bondage. Why should he create? Then they say God is so kind-hearted, he will liberate you. It is something like there will be some rowdies, some rowdy shooter on the street. He will come into your house and he will snatch your important thing, some card or some bank account or something. He will snatch from you, and he will say, "Come on, give me money, then I'll give you. Give me this much of money, then I will return. Otherwise, I will not." Then you say, "No, it is mine." Hey, you can't talk like that. Pay this much of money, then only I'll give you. Pay this much ransom. It is something like kidnap and demand the ransom. Ransom, what you call? You demand the ransom. You pay this much, then I'll return it. One who does it, what do you call such a person? You call him nothing but a mafia gang, blackmailing people, threatening people, forcibly snatches from you and returns it on paying some ransom. What kind of person you call him? If religion talks of like this, if a God talks like this, what kind of God you call him? You call him God, and at the same time you call him very kind-hearted, loving. God loves you. Oh, God loves you. They come and tell you, "Hey, I'm telling you good news. God loves you." What is that he loves you? He liberates you. He liberates me? How? Because he's all powerful. He created the world and everything. He's capable. How do you think that God is capable of liberating? Because He created the world, He created you, and He's so powerful, so capable that He can liberate. Oh, if He's so powerful, so capable, should I believe? Yes, you should believe it. Then first question, why did He create me? Why did He create bondage for me? I don't know. Then all your God's capacity of liberating is gone. Then it proves that God cannot liberate. If He liberates by taking ransom, you surrender to me, I'll liberate you. Okay. After liberating, tomorrow he is in need of some mood. Again he will blackmail you. Again he will kidnap. Again he will rob something from you. Again he say, come on, surrender to me, then only I will liberate. You see a fellow who is addicted to blackmailing people. You think that he will blackmail only once and not second time? He will rob your property and ask you to pay this much, then only I'll return. He will rob something invaluable and he will say, come on, you pay me this much, I'll return. I'll liberate you. You kidnap a person, ask his father, pay this much, 1 crore rupees or 5 crore rupees, then I'll liberate you. I will release your son, small boy. Otherwise, I'll torture you. What do you call him? You call him God and surrender to him? You may surrender to him, but don't call him God. Only this much I say. He's a mafia gang. I am caught in his hands. What else? I have no option. Yes, I can understand. You are a wise man. You are a wise man. Because you are caught in his hands, he's a mafia gang blackmailing him, kidnapping you. He created a bondage out of his evil motive, out of his arrogance. And he's demanding ransom, pay and get liberated. That I can understand. But don't call him God. And don't call it religion. And don't call him kind-hearted. If God is very kind-hearted, loving for you and liberates you, don't call him loving God. Okay. You call him a mafia gang. And I am caught. What can I do? So I want to be liberated. I pay him some ransom and get liberated. Do it. You are a wise man. Do it. But don't call him God, and don't call this as religion. Okay, you understand this? Then what is the bondage? It is a big topic. We'll discuss tomorrow in the next class. Okay, time is up. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om Tat Sat.